This one's wife. Even Markus finds her annoying. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Markus Anderson has often been referred to as this one's wife's pimp as a consequence of their Soho House connection, that he is seen as instrumental in bringing this one's wife and Prince Harry together. There are some that believe that he has acted in a nefarious manner and that he operated in concert with this one's wife to ensnare Prince Harry. There are some that believes that it was actually part of an orchestrated plot to ensnare Prince Harry and infiltrate the royal family in order to cause it problems. Well, that may well belong in the realm of conspiracy theories, but what is undeniable is that this one's wife and Markus Anderson are rather close. He occupies the position of a non-intimate secondary source within her fuel matrix. There are some who have suggested that there has been intimacy between them. That is unconfirmed, but if it was the case, he would hold the position of an intimate partner secondary source. It's also seen that he is a lieutenant of this one's wife, doing things in order to assist her with regard to the pursuit of the prime aims. He naturally doesn't think that he's assisting her in pursuit of the prime aims. He's probably never even heard of them, nor less understands them. He just sees himself as wanting to assist her because it's beneficial for him, either in terms of friendship or some other form of gain. He has accompanied her on her trip to Paris as part of Paris Fashion Week. It might be that he is the one who has managed to orchestrate the trip and the connection for her to attend certain shows. Either way, he has been seen in various photographs and footage, sometimes trailing behind her, in other instances walking in front of her when exiting the hotel. Notwithstanding the fact that he is a non-intimate secondary source within her fuel matrix and a lieutenant of hers, it is also testament to the fact that even he finds her irritating and annoying. And we've got a short clip to show you which exemplifies that and other aspects of her narcissism. Have a look at this short clip. This was filmed at the Balenciaga show that they both attended. They are sat in the front row, evidently watching the models. Markus seems to be observing intently. This one's wife is watching. Other members of the audience, the attendees, are also. One lady is filming on her mobile phone. We can't see who they're looking at or what they're doing. One would assume that it is the models. And all of a sudden, this one's wife laughs. Mouth open, shoulders come down, and up comes that ridiculous hand as if to mask it as she touches her nose. You'll have noticed that in the footage, nobody else around her reacts in a similar fashion. Nobody else laughs. Nobody even giggles. Nobody even moves their shoulders as if they've found that it's something that's chuckle-worthy. But this one's wife has. And you'll notice that it's almost like she expels the laugh, brings up her hand, and then looks to Markus to check that he is on board with the laughter. She says something, and he doesn't even make eye contact with her. It's almost like she's an annoying and irritating child that has seen something happen. For instance, and we don't know whether this is the case, it's pure speculation, that maybe one of the models has fallen over, or they've worn something that's particularly preposterous. And it certainly tickled this one's wife, but it is so interesting to see that nobody else reacts in the same way as her at all, which demonstrates the difference in the way that she sees things. And her narcissism compels her to assert control directly over Markus. He doesn't even break his gaze to look at her, that he simply nods, and you can see from her reaction that she's not particularly impressed by the lack of detailed response from him, which causes her to immediately look away. There are several things that have occurred here. First of all, the fact that this one's wife has laughed at something that nobody else in the audience has laughed at tells us that it's likely to be a situation that is exhibiting her absence of emotional empathy. Furthermore, that her facade management was caught out, that it was in effect asleep at the wheel when she suddenly laughed and put her hand up to her mouth. It's likely that someone has suffered some kind of misfortune, because that's the type of thing that this one's wife finds entertaining, because she has no emotional empathy. Ordinarily, the facade management would jump in and prevent her from exhibiting her behaviour to everybody else by laughing. It would cause her to stifle the laugh before it even appeared, that she might think it. Remember the occasion when she was laughing at the autistic individual singing, I think it was the Canadian national anthem, that she found it amusing in relation to the person singing, and she was spotted laughing. This shows not only her base nature, but also the fact that her facade management often misfires and isn't very good at causing her to basically keep a straight face, that she finds not only the misfortune of other people amusing, which is part of her narcissism because she has no emotional empathy, but also her facade management is not as good as it ought to be because it can't stop her from laughing. Thus, that's the first aspect to see. This is reinforced, of course, by the fact that nobody in the audience laughs as well. Therefore, on an objective view, what most people will have witnessed simply wasn't amusing. This one's wife found it amusing because it's probably linked to the misfortune of somebody else. Her narcissism then requires her to check that Markus is under control and to provide validation for her at laughing. She needs somebody to confirm that what she found was amusing. This is because she's noticed that nobody else around her has laughed. Thus, she turns to the loyal lieutenant and probably asks, was that funny, or that was silly, wasn't it, whatever it might be. He gives a confirmatory nod. However, it's almost like that of a father with an errant child. Yes, now shut up and carry on watching. Yes, you're interrupting me. Yes, you can have a lollipop at the end. The fact that he doesn't regard her, that he doesn't look at her, is demonstrative of the fact that he does indeed find her response annoying, that he's probably trying to watch the show, and because she has the attention span of a gnat, she keeps interrupting him. Accordingly, he demonstrates his disdain for her, which is challenge fuel. Although he nods, the fact that he doesn't actually directly acknowledge her as a consequence of a failure to look at her, doesn't engage her in conversation, doesn't actually seem to say anything to her either, that's challenge fuel. And therefore her immediate reaction, and you can see there's a slight stiffening of her facial features, she immediately then looks away again as she goes into a position of withdrawal in relation to Markus Anderson. A short clip, but again packed with so many aspects of her narcissism. Her absence of emotional empathy, her incongruous response compared to everybody else, her misfiring facade management, the necessity of the assertion of control over her lieutenant, the failure which occurs directly, and therefore the shrinking back into the assertion of control through withdrawal. It's only a short clip, and I know that this has been circulating on social media, but once again, you get the actual insight as to what's truly going on by virtue of the insight of me, H.G. Tudor. Thank you for watching.